Scarlett Johansson has worked with Disney for years, starring as Natasha Romanoff/Black Widow in their MCU movies. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. However, when it came to the 2019 film Jojo Rabbit, Johansson didn't believe that the studio would allow for the subversive film to be released under its banner. Johansson, who played Rosie Betzler in the Taika Waititi film, was surprised that Disney execs were excited about the film. Disney's acquisition of Fox made Scarlett Johansson fear for her film with Taika Waititi. Scarlett Johansson played the role of Rosie Betzler in Jojo Rabbit, a single mother in Nazi Germany who hides a Jewish girl in her attic. Johansson shared with The Hollywood Reporter in a 2019 interview that she played a warm, comfy character in the film. Waititi made the film under Fox Searchlight, who came under Disney after its 2019 acquisition of Fox. The Black Widow actress had concerns about the film coming under Disney since Jojo Rabbit did not conform to the family-friendly brand of the studio. Both Johansson and Taika Waititi had a great relationship with the studio at that time. The Marriage Story actress was a constant presence in Marvel films, and Waititi had given them the most successful Thor film, Thor: Ragnarok, at that point. Despite the working relationship, Johansson was almost sure that Disney would never bring out Jojo Rabbit. After the acquisition, she had a dinner meeting with Disney board members along with her Avengers co-stars. She shared with THR that the execs told her at the dinner that they were excited about her new film. Johansson wondered how that was possible since the more off-color or subversive nature of her film didn't fit in with the Disney family. Johansson shared with THR. The Disney execs were saying, "We're excited about Jojo. They had just acquired it." I said, "How is that going to be?" Because Searchlight's made quite a lot of subversive films. It's harder and harder to try to find a home for something that's more off-color or subversive and push the limit. I thought, there's no way Disney would bring Jojo Rabbit out. This doesn't belong to that Disney family. Jojo Rabbit was produced under Fox Searchlight, which had previously produced Oscar-winning films like The Shape of Water, Birdman, 12 Years a Slave, and Slumdog Millionaire. The banner usually chose to produce independent and art-house films that pushed the limits. She shared that their words proved to be true because when the film went over to Disney, nothing changed. Johansson shared, via THR. Whether it's Pixar or Marvel, the most important thing is when Disney acquires a company that's working, they let the studio continue to have their own style. The creative freedom of that studio stays, the DNA of the studio stays intact. Ultimately, when Jojo Rabbit went over to Disney, it didn't make any difference, which was cool. Because I was worried that maybe it would. Not only did the studio change a thing about Jojo Rabbit, but Bob Iger actively promoted the film. He even held a private screening of the film as part of its Oscar campaign. The film went on to win the Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay for Waititi. Many viewers also shared Scarlett Johansson's concerns that Disney would try to inject its signature brand into the acquired properties. However, Johansson got a surprising response from the execs regarding this matter. They shared that when Disney acquired a company, they allowed the company to keep its DNA and style. Before his critically acclaimed film The Zone of Interest, Jonathan Glazer collaborated with Scarlett Johansson in the sci-fi film Under the Skin. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Johansson was riding high on the success of her Marvel films at the time and took a break to star in indie films. While she received several scripts, she sought out Glazer's film, which originally had a very different story. Scarlett Johansson passed over other scripts to work with Jonathan Glazer on his third film. Scarlett Johansson starred as an alien who preys on men in Scotland in Jonathan Glazer's third film, Under the Skin. Glazer decided to adapt Michel Faber's novel of the same name early in 2000 after his debut film, but the lack of required technology delayed the start of production. It was unlike any film she had committed to before. She barely had any dialogue in the film, and she had to be completely naked in a couple of scenes. However, something about Glazer's film clicked with Johansson. When Glazer finally decided to make the film, Johansson was looking for an indie film to break away from her commercial films. Johansson revealed to The Guardian that she heard about Glazer's film and found the premise interesting. She met with the director, who had initially planned to cast completely new actors in the roles. Scarlett Johansson starred as an alien who preys on men in Scotland in Jonathan Glazer's third film, Under the Skin. Glazer decided to adapt Michel Faber's novel of the same name early in 2000 after his debut film, but the lack of required technology delayed the start of production. I think we were both interested in that. I thought it would be incredibly challenging to play a character that's free of judgment, that has no relationship to any emotion I could relate to. And for me, at this point, I think it much more interesting for me to look at something and know that I can play it, but not know how, rather than to look at something and go, I can do that. And then just do it. The project didn't happen immediately, as the director and the actress had conversations over the years before the filming even began. In these years, the story and script changed considerably, and Johansson had become an integral part of the creative process. When the Black Widow star met Jonathan Glazer, he was still figuring out his film and what had attracted him to the story. Johansson shared that the concept of an alien gave Glazer the freedom to create a character without any judgment. Johansson shared with The Guardian, "I heard Jonathan was making a film, and originally it was a very different story. But I met him, and it was very clear that he was struggling to figure out what he was doing with it, and what had attracted him to it. It wasn't his passion project, but there was something in the idea of having a character that was an alien that could give him the freedom to be completely observant without any judgment." However, the Scoop actress was also interested in the alien character. She admitted that it was challenging to play a character that has no relationship to any emotions. Her intuition at the time was to just have confidence and play the character, even though she didn't know how to do it before the film. Johansson shared with The Guardian that the film was received with an even split of cheering and boos when it was released at the Venice Film Festival. It was the first time she had watched a film with an audience, and she was on a mezzanine, which made her feel super exposed to the audience. She shared that she didn't know how to react to the audience's reactions. She shared, "Starring in Under the Skin was no small feat for Scarlett Johansson. The film premiered at the Telluride Film Festival and was released in theaters a year later. The reactions were extreme, with some finding it to be a great cinematic experience, while others believed that it was a laughable attempt at an alien movie. T was very strange. It was the first time I had seen the film with an audience, and the first time I saw the film finished. And I was on this huge mezzanine, so I felt super exposed. Then at the end, when the lights came up, there was this sound of people cheering and booing at the same time, but with equal gusto. I didn't know how to react to it." However, she eventually learned from Glazer that a mixed reaction was far better than everyone having a middle ground opinion. The film's critical acclaim did not help it succeed in theaters, as the film bombed badly. Scarlett Johansson, celebrated for her versatility and iconic roles in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, has consistently proven her acting prowess. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Known for her distinctive voice and dynamic performances, the actress has earned widespread acclaim. However, early in her career, she encountered a notable setback when Pixar, a major animation studio, passed on her for a role. Scarlett Johansson's journey from childhood struggles to Hollywood stardom showcases her unwavering dedication to acting. Scarlett Johansson always knew she wanted to be an actor, driven by a passion to explore every aspect of the craft. Her early years in the industry, however, were challenging. Sent to countless commercial auditions, she often struggled to land roles, leading to many disappointments. Despite her enthusiasm for venturing into animation, Pixar failed to recognize her potential. But Johansson did not hold back in voicing her frustration and openly criticized the studio for overlooking her talents in a past interview.